Hi guys, just a quick summary of chapter 3, and I am going to try to keep it quick. We're talking about analyzing the marketing environment in this chapter. We start out talking about the microenvironment, and these are things that are close to the company. So inside the company or very close to it. The first one of these in the microenvironment is the company itself. And the marketers, when they're coming up with their overall marketing strategy, need to factor in the other departments. So, for instance, finance and research and development and IT, to make sure that we have the things available and the money available, and we can deliver what we promise. We also, at this point, the marketers need to keep the company's mission statement in mind, and we talked about that in a previous chapter. Suppliers. These are, we always have to consider supply availability and cost, and we have to keep in mind here that without the suppliers, we can't supply our customers' needs. So if we make promises to our customers and then we can't get what we need from the suppliers, it's going to be us that ends up looking bad to the consumer there. Marketing intermediaries are anybody that helps us promote, sell, or distribute our product. And we have three areas here. We have physical distribution. So that's a physical distribution. So these are the distributors that help us, wholesalers or distributors. It could be FedEx, it could be a shipping company, it could be anybody that wholesales. We also have marketing services. This would be an ad company or media things or marketing research, anything like that. And then we also have financial intermediaries, and these would be banks that loan us money, or credit card companies that make it easier for us to sell to our customers, or insurance companies. Any of those would be financial intermediaries. Also in the microenvironment, we have our competitors, and we need to look at our position in the minds of our consumer. Remember, we were talking about positioning in the last chapter versus our competitors. So where do we compare to our competitors in our consumers' minds? Also, we have publics, and publics are anybody that kind of cares what we're doing at our company. So these could be financial publics. If a bank loaned us money, they want to make sure we can pay it back. These could be the media, especially if we're doing things that they don't think are good. The government often wants to know what we're doing and how we're doing it. There's citizen action groups. If it could be pollution, it could be how we're treating our employees, anything like that could get in there. The local communities that we work in. We could just have the general public, and this could be press. And there's also internal publics. And this is something that's important not to forget. Stockholders would fall under financial publics, but internal publics primarily are our employees. And they are most of the times our front line with our customers, so we need to make sure that they're happy as well. And then there are our customers, which we can't forget them. Our customers can be consumers, or they could be businesses. Most of the time, I think we have a tendency in this class to think about consumers, but business to business is a huge industry, and marketing applies to those as well, so let's not forget about those. That's the microenvironment. Now for the macroenvironment, these are the larger outside forces. Larger outside things outside the company that are impacting us. A lot of times we don't have control over these, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't watch them. The first one is demographics, and this is a really big one here. There's a lot of different ways here to split out demographics. One would be age, and these are different. These are different ways to segment our market, but these are forces that also impact our ability to reach our customers. Age isn't a big one here, and what you see a lot now is generational marketing. And some of the main generations we're talking about now would be the baby boomers. Those are people that were born between 65 and 76. Oh, I'm sorry, 46 and 64. World War II era. Those people are starting to retire now. So you've got a large group of people with fairly high income and a lot of time on their hands. So you see different products developing to meet that need. You also see the Generation Xers. These are people born between 65 and 76, and they have some very unique characteristics as well. This is the first time you saw a lot of dual income families. They're very career oriented. Convenience is a big thing. And then you have the Millennials, which are people born between 77 and 2000. And this is actually going to be an even bigger market, and this is each one has very unique characteristics. So the product, how you market your product, depends which group you're trying to reach here. But they are more cynical, more savvy as far as marketing messages, a little bit probably harder to convince. So each one of those has different characteristics. Some other demographics that are affecting marketers are changes in the family structure. More single parent families and diverse families, shifts in geographics, people moving, whether they're shifting, to cities or to suburban, or from the northwest out to the southwest or something, or northeast to southwest. So geographic shifts. Education, people are becoming more educated, and that changes the way we reach them and the products they need. And diversity, and this does not just mean racial diversity. They give some good examples in there about the huge gay and lesbian market, or marketing to people with disabilities, and all kinds of different things in there. So these can be threats if we're not prepared, but these can be great opportunities too, any of these changes in demographics. Another force in the macro environment is the economy. And here we're looking at, obviously, if there's a recession or if we're in the middle of a big expansion. But during these changes in economic times, we see changes in consumer spending. For instance, in the recession, you see changes in spending patterns. You see a focus on value and that sort of thing. And we also see here changes in income distribution, shrinking middle class, that kind of thing. So that's going to change who we're marketing and what types of things people are buying. Changes in the natural environment. You see shortages of some raw materials. You see increased pollution is a big thing that's affecting us. And because of those two things, you also see an increase in government intervention coming in, telling us what we can do, what we can't do, how we're going to do it. Technology is probably the most dramatic shift that marketers have seen. Huge shifts in everything we do, and we're going to come across how technology is impacting marketers in just about every chapter here. It's creating a lot of opportunity. We can reach people we couldn't reach before. We can know so much more about our customers than we knew before. Really just incredibly rapid changes here. So keeping up with that can be challenging. The book spends some time talking about the RFID, how much that's changed things. So technology is something that we will talk about a great deal. Political and social environment. You see, regulation is to protect companies from each other. So not just protect the company, but to protect laws to protect companies from each other, antitrust laws, things that if companies are from each other, companies are trying to limit competition, there'll be laws to kind of prevent that. You'll see laws to protect consumers, and there's a lot of those, and also to protect society in general, and that's where you see, for instance, your regulation with the pollution and that kind of thing. So all those different things, and let's see, cultural would be the last one. The cultural environment, these are very basic values and beliefs, and you've got these fall into two areas here. You've got your core beliefs, and these are things that are really set in stone. Marketers cannot influence these things, and generally you see core beliefs like our whole society would have it: killing is bad, working hard is good, those types of things, and marketers for the most part aren't going to change those. But you've also got secondary beliefs, which are influenced more by kind of your subculture in there too. And marketers, and these could be anything from what clothes are acceptable to what hairstyles are acceptable to what kind of cars are acceptable. Those types of things marketers can influence, and so they definitely will. And so marketers will look for shifts in cultural values. Both, again, the core doesn't belong, but especially in the secondary beliefs. So that's a summary of both the micro and the macro. Hopefully I kept this one a little bit shorter than the last one. Yep, 12 minutes, that's not bad.